Hi everyone, I'm Holly Webb. I'm the Arts and Production Assistant at the Marion Community School of the Arts, and I will be doing a holiday hair and makeup tutorial for you, so let's get started. You want to start with a good moisturizer or primer. I personally wait until later to do my primers, but I like to start with moisturizer first. So I'm using Kate Somerville's Retinol Vitamin C Moisturizer. It is very good, and since it has vitamin C in it, it brightens your skin. So personally, I like to start with eyes first instead of face, and especially for this look, the eyeshadow palette I'm using, it's very pigmented, it's very good, but there's a lot of fallout, and fallout was harder to clean off of an already foundationed and contoured face, so I'm going to start with eyes first. Firstly, I do my eyebrows. So you're just going to take a brush like so. This is the Ben Nye one, but you don't have to use that. You're just going to brush your eyebrows up. Like so. Then you're going to go along the top and brush them into their natural arching line. Since feathered brows are so in style right now, we're going to be doing those today. So for my feathered brows, I don't actually fill them in, I just put mascara over them, and my eyebrows are already like a decent thickness to begin with. So if your eyebrows are a little bit on the thinner side, you can fill them in first, but I'm just going to put mascara on them. So I'm using CoverGirl Eye Club Crusher, and it's brown, it's not black. You definitely want to make sure it's a brown or like a lighter brown or a blonde to match your eyebrow color, because unless if you have black hair and black eyebrows, which then that would make sense. So I just take the spoolie, make sure there's product on it, and I start in my arch and then I work out and then up. And I use very light feathered strokes. Take your eyebrow brush again. I'm going to brush over the top. Basically just secure them into place. And since it's mascara, it will get, I don't want to say sticky, that's not the right word. It's a sticky substance when you put it on, but basically your eyebrows are more likely to stay in place because you did use something that's going to make them stick together. Alright, so next, you probably have a lot of product up here from brushing up, so I take a small cloth. I have these reusable cloths. They are clean, I promise, they're just stained. But I take these reusable cloths and I dip it in some water. I usually just dip the corner of this cloth because then you get the most precision, and I just sweep along the top. Now, you want to put a base on your eyelids before you start with eyeshadow. It's very important, it'll help your eyeshadow stay in place more, and the eyelids themselves are very greasy, so if you've noticed your eyeshadow creasing in your lines before, it's probably because you didn't use a base first. Now they do make eyeshadow primers, but in my experience, they haven't worked as well as just foundation and powder, so we're going to go with my method. For powder, I'm using Tarte setting powder. It's a very pretty design. And then I'm using a fluffy small brush. It's important that it's fluffy and it's got more of a rounded tip because then you can pack the product on better. You're going to dab the brush in the setting powder. You're going to knock off the excess. You're just going to take the powder and you're going to place it all along the eyelid. Now this soaks up any excess grease you might have and just primes the lid and gets it ready for foundation or concealer. Next, you're going to take concealer. I have a CC cream by It Cosmetics, and I also have this brand called Hey Honey. This is more of for acne prone skin. Actually, this one matches my foundation better, so I'm going to use this one. So you want to wet your sponges before you use them because it just makes it easier to put on the product. Alright, so I have a small sort of diamond shaped beauty blender here. I'm just going to squeeze a little of the concealer on it. You really don't need a lot. A little goes a long way. Next, you're going to powder what you just did on your eyes. So, I'm going to get more powder, pop the excess off. Sometimes it creases in the eye right away, so I'll go back and blend it out and keep my eyes closed and then powder it immediately. So next you're going to do under your eyes, basically the same process with your concealer and your UV blender. And I like to start from the inner corner of my eye and work my way out. And you're going to powder this as well. So now that you have your base down, we're going to move on to eyeshadow. Alright, now for this eyeshadow look, I actually ran a poll on my Instagram because I was not sure what colors to use, and the accent color picked was gold, and then the main color picked was green. So personally I love those color combinations, so I wanted to do a halo eye. And if you're not familiar with what that is, it's basically there's a base color down, and then on the middle of the lid there's a highlight color, and it's very beautiful. It looks very cool, and we're also going to put a little one underneath our eyes as well. The eyeshadow palette I'm using is the Milani Gilded Gold palette. I absolutely love this palette. I got it for Christmas last year from one of my roommates, and it is amazing. So I'm going to be using the green shade called Eden, and then the gold shade called Doro, D''O''R''O. And then there's a lot of gold shades in this palette, so I might use some others as well. But firstly, you want to start with the green. Now, when you're packing on color, you want to use a brush that is that's pretty much flat but has like a rounded top. And I will warn you, I attempted like a trial of this makeup look the other day, and I did not specifically clean the brushes that I used because I knew I was going to be doing it again, so I was like, there's no point in cleaning them. So these brushes look dirty, and they are dirty, but they're only going on my face, so it's fine. So anyway, this is the brush that I use to pack on that color. So pretty much, you just want to, this is hard to do. You just want to dab it in really well, and then you want to tap off the excess. Now this color creates a lot of fallout, so just be wary of that. So you're going to pack that color onto the brush, and then you're going to put it in your, like basically right on your lid space, a little more into the crease, and then right under your eye as well. And we're going to blend it out to be more of a round shape. So to blend out the color, you want to use a fluffier round brush, but also small. So see how like the top is very like circular and round and is very fluffy and not like concentrated. That's what you want to use. So you just want to go in your crease and blend it out really well. And you also want to blend it so it doesn't go up to your eyebrows. Now see how there's a little space of like my blank nude concealer color. You want to keep that space open. Now for my under eyes, I like to use the tip of this brush. Pat that on really well. And you're gonna go completely underneath the bottom of the eye. You're going to connect it to your top shape as well. You're going to blend this out as well. I'm actually gonna close my eye to do this. Oh god. And with my corners, like the corner itself determines the eye shape, so I like to sort of just use small circular motions to blend that out. That's more of the shape that I want. You don't see it, but so it's basically just like a circle that goes all the way around the eye. And the green definitely got blended out, so I'm going to go back in and pack some more color on the lid. So using the same brush, blocking out the excess. And I'm just going to do this on the lid because you're going to blend it out once more. Then go back in with your blending brush. Just gently blending that out so it's more of a ombre effect. You want the darkest part of your eye look to be on your eyelids or corner, and then it should blend out to look better. I'm gonna add a little bit more in my outer corner too. For fallout, what I like to do is take like a big fluffy brush. This is the same brush that I also set my foundation in, and just kind of brush it underneath my eye, and it picks up those fallen particles. Next thing you want to do, very important, do not skip this. You want to take a flat, skinny brush like this. This is a Ben Nye brush from a makeup kit that I purchased. And you just want to make sure it is very flat so you can have very precise control with it. And you're going to take your same concealer and put a little bit on the brush, like so. And you're going to do the sort of halo shape. So sits right in the middle of the eyelid and sort of has a tornado shape to it. So basically it should be the widest at the top and get gradually smaller the closer it goes to your eyelid. So I like to start in the middle and dab it on. And you'll probably have to periodically clean off this brush as well because it will get green. And once you have enough product on your eye, you can open your eye to the fullest and then relax, and you should see where the concealer naturally will sit in your crease. You see that's where the concealer hit the top of my eyeball. So I am going to go off that line and make that line the top of my halo shape. And you're gonna very carefully drag that out from one side to the other. Actually, I'm gonna fill this in a little bit more first than I'm doing. You want to follow the natural arch of your face. Once you get the general shape down, I like to take the edges of my brush and put little feathered strokes on each side, and it gives it more of a ombre feathered effect. Now to really make it pop, you want the most concealer up at the top of your shape. But firstly, I'm going to powder the concealer that I just put on my eyelid. You're going to use the same small brush and powder that you used to powder your eyelid base, and you're going to very carefully powder the concealer. You want to try to keep it in that concealer shape. And once that is powdered, you can go back in and fix the shape. So I'm going to take actually a smaller eyeshadow brush. It's pretty much the same shape as the bigger one I used, except this one is smaller and I'll have more control with it. And you're going to go back in with the green base eyeshadow that you, and you're going to fix the shape. And by that, I'm just going in the outside and feathering it inward. You also want to take this eyeshadow and go directly above the crease of where the halo sits. So see where it starts, you want to put green eyeshadow directly above it. You want to take your feathered brush and you want to lightly blend that shape out. Do so very carefully. Sometimes I don't even use the whole brush to do that. I just use like the edge of the brush. Yeah, it just makes it look a bit more natural. Next, my favorite part is adding the gold. So when you add the gold, you want to take a very small brush. This one's also covered in gold from last time, so just excuse that. But you want to take a very small eyeshadow brush and notice how the top is rounded. That's very important, and it's also very skinny as well. So you want to take this and you want to pack the gold onto this color. You're going to place it right in that halo shape that you just made with your concealer. If you need something blended very precisely, you can go in and take a smaller brush and just do the one area. So to make it pop even more, we're going to add glitter because, you know, everyone needs a little bit of glitter in their life. And so I have this chunky glitter palette by Delancey, and it is a godsend. Like just chef's kiss. So I'm going to be using this very light glitter up here. Well, these are more of like a bronze, and that's more of like a gold glitter. So I'm going to be using that. I'm going to be using one of these eyeshadow applicators as well. So chunky glitter is very hard to clean up and very hard to clean out of eyeshadow brushes. So I'm just going to be using one of these and throwing it away because that's the easiest way to do it. So with this, you want to get a pretty good amount of chunky glitter on the end of the eyeshadow glitter. Kind of like that, as you can see, and you're just going to apply it to where you just applied your gold halo shape. And then you're pretty much done with the eyeshadow. We do need to put gold underneath as well. So I'm going to take the same eyeshadow brush that you used to apply the gold. I'm going to put it back in the gold, pop off the excess, and you're going to go right under where the halo shape meets your under eye. So you want to be mindful of where that shape stops and where it starts. Okay, and now you're going to put on eyeliner. You really only want to put on eyeliner just because it gives a base to the false eyelash that we're going to put on. Because, let's face it, if you're doing a bold eye look, you always need to do it with eyelashes or it just kind of falls flat. So, I'm going to use liquid eyeliner for that. This is just LA Colors liquid eyeliner. Bought at the Dollar Tree. No shame in that. Let's shake it up pretty good. Okay. I like to brush off any excess that I might need, and I'm just going to go right over the top of my lid. Make it somewhat thick, but not extremely. Wait for that eyeliner to dry before you apply eyelashes. And while you're waiting for that eyeliner to dry, you can apply your mascara. Now you're only going to do 1 or 2 coats of mascara. And by now, your eyeliner should be dry, so you're able to put it on. So for lashes, I am using Ardell Demi Wispies. They come in a pack like this, and I'm going to be using the pair that I have my fingers on. Alright, so now that this eye is pretty much done, I'm going to move on to the other eye, but since you already know how to do that other eye, it's just literally this exact same process. I will see you in a little bit. Second eye done. Moving on to face. So I like to use a lot of primers because it makes me feel fancy and better about my life. So first I'm using Hard Candy's Sheer Envy Perfecting Primer. This is specifically for pores. It blurs and minimizes lines and holds for a smooth finish. And if you have red spots or acne scars like me, I like to use a green color correcting primer. And there's a lot of color correcting primers out there, but basically it helps to know your color theory with primers. So green balances out red, yellow balances out purple, etc. Next I'm using MAC Prep and Prime Fix-It spray. I love this spray, it's very refreshing. It's just basically like an overall primer. So, chef's kiss. So next we move on to foundation. You want to use a bigger beauty blender. I have this one here that's like flat on one side, very nice for bigger surface areas. And my foundation is Fenty Beauty foundation. It's also dirty. I think it's okay. So this is the soft matte wear foundation. When you do your foundation, you want to start at your nose and work your way outwards. With your foundation done, you want to next set your foundation, I'm using the same setting powder from Tarte and my big fluffy brush. And with this, you definitely want to knock off the excess. Alright, next is contour. For contour, you want to use an angled fluffy brush, like so. And I am out of my... Oh, just kidding. I'll use this. Okay, so I have an e.l.f. contour palette. It's very dirty, so ignore that. But I obviously use these two colors most, but I can also use these two colors as well. So for contour, you want to use a shade that's like 1 or 2 shades darker than your skin tone and 1 and 2 shades lighter than your skin tone. So you're basically going and contouring the angles and planes of your face. So where your face sinks in is where you want to put the darker contour. And most importantly is nose contour. So for nose contour, I like to take a fluffy brush. It just makes it easier to blend out. And you're going to go in with your dark color, get some on there, knock off the excess, and you're going to start at the top of your inner brows and make a curve at the front, sort of following like the natural bridge of your nose and then coming down. Also put it in my Cupid's bow. Again, you don't want too much or it'll just look dirty. Blend that out pretty well. So next you want to go back with your fluffy brush. You want to get any excess darker shade off and you want to go in with your lighter shades now. Now you highlight where the bones of your face stick out, where your skull sticks out, I guess. Next we're going to put on Shiny Fun Highlight. And for that you want to use a fan brush, like so, and any highlight of your choice really. Okay, so I'm using Moonchild by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I absolutely love this palette, if you cannot tell. And since the main color of this look is green, I'm going to use Lucky Clover. It's a highlight with like a green shimmer to it. I don't know if you can see it. It's this little one right here, but yeah, it's very fun. So I bunch up the fan brush like this and really get the product on there. And I knock off the excess. I am actually going to use a smaller brush for my eye highlight. So going back to eye makeup, I like to do this after my foundation is over because you're going to put this sort of on the eyeshadow but sort of on the foundation. So I'm using the same Lucky Clover shade and a smaller, fluffier brush. You're going to put it in your tear ducts. And you're going to kind of dab it really quickly. I really like to layer it on here as well. It just makes the eyes and you want to put it in the very arch of your eyes. Right, so now that all of our face is done, we're going to do lips. So with dramatic eyes, it always looks best, in my personal opinion, to do like a dark lip after that as well. So I'm going to do purple lipstick. This is a Milani shade, and it is just Fearless, I guess. That's the name of the brand, Fearless. But I love this lipstick, if you can't tell already. It's very dark, it's very dramatic. So when I do my lipstick, I like to do in my Cupid's bow first and just basically get the general shape drawn and then fill it in. To avoid getting lipstick on your teeth, a little known trick is you're going to take your finger and just boom, and it gets that inner layer off that you need, and now get it on your teeth. So alright, you can stop your makeup look here if you want to, but I'm a little extra and I'm going to put glitter on my cheekbones and I'm going to put a little gold on my lips as well. And last but not least, very important step, you want to set your makeup with setting spray. Now this is both a primer and a setting spray. It's very, very convenient. Alright, you wait for that to dry and you're done. So tune in for my hair tutorial coming right up. Hi everyone, and welcome to the hair portion of my holiday hair and makeup tutorial. Let's get started. So first and foremost, you want to make sure your hair is clean and dry and that it is relatively straight, if not almost straight. I have naturally curly hair, so I straightened my hair before to do this tutorial. Overall, it just makes the look more completed and put together. So first and foremost, you want to use heat protectant on your hair, very important. This is Tresemme, and it protects up to 450 degrees, which is very cool. So, I'm going to shake it up, spray it all over my hair. I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to plug in my curling iron. The curling iron I use is, I'm pretty sure it's Revlon, but it's like Pro Beauty Tools. It's this fun little holographic style, and it's a barrel-on clamp. And while you're waiting for your curling iron to heat up, you're going to divide your hair into 2 sections. You want to make them pretty even sections too, so I'm going to start at my temples. Go there. And you're going to divide your hair into 2 sections after that. And I like to put the undone hair behind me and the done pieces in front of me. So I'm going to take an even smaller section, comb it out. And this is important. You hairspray the section before you curl it. So just going to lightly spray it. I'm going to comb it through as well, just to make sure each strand is saturated. Curling iron should be pretty hot by now. Go all the way to the end and curl your way up. With each strand you want to curl it going away from your face, or counterclockwise. You're going to hold it for about 15 seconds, and slowly release and bring it down like that. So now that your bottom section is done, we're going to do the top section. I'm going to take a small section from the front. Now with your top section, it's important that you don't start the curl above your ear. Hairspray it again. And it's important that you don't get too much hairspray close to your roots, especially on the top section, because then it's just going to look greasy. Next, you're going to take a oil or a shine mist. This is both a color and heat protectant, but I'm going to use it actually as a after product. So I'm going to shake it up really well, and I'm going to spray all over. I'm going to smooth out the top, so it makes it really shiny, and then I'm going to spray a little on my hands, rub them together, and I'm just going to finger comb and pull them down. And just like that, you're done. I really like a sleek top, and then for it to fade into these really voluminous curls. So thank you guys for watching. Happy holidays.